All right, and we're gonna get started. Also, I don't cue water breaks, but if you wanna grab some water, I'm very thirsty, so I'm gonna drink lots of water throughout this. But yeah, just drink whenever you need. So I'm just gonna hop on up. We're going to just start by standing on our mats today. So finding a nice Tadasana here, a strong mountain pose. We're just gonna start by slowing down our breath. And I will be breathing pretty loud to help encourage you guys to breathe, because I know sometimes I stop breathing and I'm like, what is going on? So we're going to start by finding some alignment in our mountain pose. We're going to find our 3 points of the foot underneath the pinky toe, the big toe, and the heel. Maybe you want to sort of roll between those. That might make it a little bit easier to draw awareness to them. And then eventually finding some stillness. We're just going to lengthen up through both of our legs, make sure that there's a little bit of a micro bend here, protects the knees. We're going to lengthen up through the back, both sides of the body. Engage the core, rotate, externally rotate those shoulders, and lengthen up. Imagine that there's light shining from the crown of your head and outwards from your heart. Awesome. And we're going to come back to this Tadasana a lot throughout our practice, so try to just remind yourself of some of those things. I'll help cue them as well. Awesome. And maybe if you want to start just closing your eyes, or maybe finding a gentle gaze in front of you. We're just going to start observing our breath. So imagining that you are not yourself, but you're just observing your breath here as it is. Noticing maybe it's a little bit shallow today, maybe it's nice and deep, maybe it's fast or slow. Just noticing, no judgment at all. All right. And then after a couple breath cycles, we're just going to, sorry for the sirens if you can hear them. After we just slow down our breath a little bit, we're going to take a big exhale, remove all of the air inside of our lungs, and we're just going to inhale for 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. And that's stepwise breathing, and you can just return to a regular breath cycle here. Maybe noticing how it's a little bit different, might be a little bit slower here. Just taking the time to really observe how it is in your body. And breath is so important for yoga because it really powers everything that we do. And it's very important, especially in transitions. Good. So at this point, we're just going to find a nice intention for today's practice. An intention can be a motto, it can be a mantra, it can be a person, a place, a song, whatever you want it to be. It's going to be something that we dedicate today's practice to. And if you would like to use mine today is, I am grateful and I am present in this moment. Awesome. So maybe blinking our eyes open if they were closed. We're just going to start adding a little bit of movement into our bodies. That's what we're here for. We're going to inhale our arms above us, palms to touch. We're going to draw our feet together. One big inhale, and slowly start to tilt over to the right side. Lengthening through your body. And exhale back up to neutral spine. And inhale over to the left side. And exhale back up. Good, and we're just gonna let our hands come to a little steeple mudra. So they're right where they were, above our hand, or above our heads, but are just our pinkies, or just our index fingers are together. Good, and we're just gonna draw tiny little circles on the ceiling, trying to keep everything else in our body right where it is. And find stillness, and slowly turn it the other way. Good, and we'll find stillness again. Good, so we're going to bring our feet so that they are hip width apart again. And we're just going to find, this is one of my favorites, it's called gorilla or hands to feet. We're just going to slowly flat back all the way down. And then we're going to bend our knees as much as we need to get both of our palms on the floor. So it's okay if your quads are like right up against your abdomen, mine are. Good. And then we're just going to slowly lift up each of our feet one at a time and just let our hands come underneath. So you're like a gorilla whose arms are really long. And maybe you can massage your hands with your feet or your feet with your hands. And just take some nice big inhales and exhales while you're down here. And also taking a moment to just relax your head. You may have some tension here. Really relax it. Maybe you can shake your head yes, shake your head no. And on your next exhale, we're just going to remove both of our hands one at a time. And then we're going to exhale and reverse swan dive all the way back up to standing. And hands through heart center. Good. So we're in our Tadasana or mountain pose again. So now we're going to go right into a little chair sequence. So while you're in chair, we're just going to keep our hands either at heart center. You can put them above, which is a little bit more challenging. You can place them behind you, whatever you want to do. All right. So for chair, we're going to sit back, send our hips to the back of the mat, and just sit down as if we're sitting in a chair. Slowly breathing throughout this. It's so easy to go into chair and just stop breathing, but it's so much better if you don't. Good. We're gonna stay here for a little bit, making sure to create a little heat in our quads today. Maybe we bend a little bit deeper just as it's starting to suck. Good, and on your next exhale, we're gonna come back up to standing. We're gonna do this 2 more times. So as you're doing this next one, I'll give you a little bit of breather. As you're doing this next one, you can either do the exact same thing we just did. If you want to, you can change your arm placement, whatever you wanna do, or you can even come up onto your toes. Oh, snap, crackle, pop. I don't know if you heard that. That was awful. All right. So on your next exhale, we're gonna go into our second chair. Really trying to pair all of our movements, all of the initiation of our asanas today with an inhale or an exhale. Breath is so important. And remembering to breathe here. Lengthen through the spine, but your heart is shining forward. Good. Maybe bend a little bit deeper. I know it sucks. Good, and one more breath cycle here. And on your next exhale, we can come back up. Awesome. So you can have one more breath cycle to transition. And we're gonna go right into the third one. If you want to, you can change your hand placement. You can go up onto your toes, do something crazy. And on your next exhale, let's go into your third chair of the day. I know, I'm so mean. Remember to breathe. And bend just a little bit more. The chair just got a little bit lower. Awesome, and on your next exhale, we can come back up to standing. Good, maybe you wanna shake it out. Maybe you wanna curse at me. Grab some water. Oh, I said I wasn't gonna cue water, but I'm gonna grab some water. Good, and then whenever you're ready, we're gonna come to the top of our mat. We're gonna do a cheeky little warrior 2 sequence. So starting at the top of our mat and really grounding ourselves in our mountain pose. We're just gonna engage the core, let the right foot come down to the bottom of the mat. So this is on a 45-degree angle to the front. Our hips are nice and open. And we're finding a nice 90-degree angle in that front foot. Making sure that the knee does not come past your foot or your ankle at all. Good. Keep bending really deep into this. We're going to inhale our arms so that they're in front of us, in the back of us. We're going to flip that front hand and slowly arc it all the way up to the ceiling. Maybe bend a little bit deeper. And we're really lengthening up. We're not curving back, unless if you want to do that, you can do that. Good. And we're just going to send it back to parallel to the mat. And we're going to tuck in that left arm and send the right above. So we're in an extended side angle here. Good. And then keeping everything else right where it is, we're just going to let the left arm come down and the right arm come up. This is a bent knee triangle. It's a little fun one. And then just straightening that front leg. This is a side triangle. Good. And we're going to rainfall down that right arm back to the mat and slowly lift that left arm all the way up to the ceiling. So there's a nice little spinal twist. And engaging your core so that you don't fall over. I have fallen over before. And rainfall down that left arm back to the mat. And the right comes up. Awesome. We're going to bend that front knee again. And just let it come up into a warrior two. Good. We can bring our hands to heart center and float up to mountain. Awesome. We're going to do the same thing on the left side. So I'm just going to change my position over here for you. Awesome. So coming back to our mountain, maybe slowing down our breath. Maybe if you got a little too excited, I got very excited with that. We're going to engage the core and let the left leg come back onto a 45-degree angle. Good. And same, finding that nice 90-degree angle in your front foot. We're going to inhale our arms so that they're in front and the back of us. Awesome. We're going to flip that right hand and slowly send it to the ceiling. Lengthening up through that right side of our body. And we're going to send it back so it's parallel to the mat. And tuck that right arm and send the left above into our extended side angle. Good. And then keeping everything right where it is, we're just going to let the right hand come down and the left goes straight up to the ceiling. This is our bent knee triangle again. And we're going to straighten that front leg. Stay here for a moment. And then let the left arm just rainfall down to the mat. We're going to let the right arm twist up to the ceiling for a nice spinal twist. Remember to engage your core here. And then rainfall down that that right arm. And then let the left come back up to the ceiling. Good. And we're going to bend that front leg again. And then just engage the core, come back up to a warrior two. Stay here for one more slow breath cycle. Bring our hands to heart center and float back up to mountain. Awesome. All right, so we're done with our warrior two. We're going to go into our pyramid, which is a little bit different, but kind of similar. If you want to grab water, you can do that, or we can just keep going. We're just going to meet in our mountain whenever you're ready. Good. Bring our hands to heart center. We're going to take a little bit of a step back, like a medium step, not as crazy as we did before. Just a nice medium step on train tracks. We're going to inhale our arms up, palms to touch, lengthen through the spine, maybe grow an extra inch or two, and slowly start to flat back, hinging at the hip crease until your pinkies touch the mat. And then we can frame our foot with our hands, Relax your head here. I bet you have lots of tension, so just release it. Good, and then when you're ready, we can bring our palms back to touch. Slowly come back up to standing. Good. We're gonna bring our hands in front of us and slowly start to peel back first on the left side. So your left hand is coming back. And we're gonna peel it up to the front. And we're gonna peel back on our right side. This may feel a little bit weird and open, but I promise you're doing it right. Good, we're gonna peel back to the front. Then we're gonna peel back on the left side again, maybe seeing if we can just twist a little bit deeper this time. Good. Then we're going to twist back to the front, hands at heart center, and float to the top of your mountain. Good. We're gonna do the same thing on the left side. So you know right where we're going. We're just gonna take a medium step back. On train tracks, engage the core, and inhale our arms up, lengthening through the back, and slowly start to flat back down until your pinkies touch the mat. At which point you can frame your foot with your hands, release any tension in your head. Remember to breathe. And we can bring our palms back to touch, lengthen up, back to standing. Good. We're gonna bring our hands in front of us, and we're going to twist back on the right side first. So we're twisting, but maybe not as much as we can. Then we're going to bring our right hand back up to the front and twist on the left side. Once again, this is a weird open feeling, but that's okay. And then peel back to the front. And we're going to peel back on the right side again, maybe seeing if we can peel a little bit more or twist a little bit more than we did last time. Good, we're gonna peel back to the front, hands at heart center, and float to the top of our mountain. Awesome. Maybe shake it out, adjust your clothes, grab some water, do what you need to do. Awesome. We're going to start a little bit of balancing today. There's a lot of balancing in today's class, but it'll be fun. So we're going to start with our balancing stick, or warrior three. And so for this one, we're going to be maybe in the middle of our mat. Find somewhere comfortable and find a confident, strong mountain pose. Slow down your breathing. Good. Bring your hands to heart center, as we always do. We're going to take a micro step forward with that left foot and put our weight into that left foot. Make sure it's a micro bend in the knee. We're going to start to straighten that right foot. Maybe take it off the ground, flex through that right foot, and make sure that the toes are turned inwards. Not too much inwards, but towards the mat. Now we're going to lengthen, and if you want to stay here, that's absolutely fine. If you want to, you can continue hinging so that you are a balancing stick. I love the name of this pose. So engaging the core and find some little speck of dirt on the mat that can help you balance just a little bit easier. If you want to, you can bring your hands to your side. And bring your hands back, slowly coming up and releasing. Maybe you want to do some joint freeing, rolling exercises. My toes are cracking all over the place. All right. We're going to do the same on the other side. So we're going to find our strong mountain and taking a micro step forward with the right foot, placing our weight into that micro bend in the knee, and start to flex through that left foot. And then if you want to stay here, absolutely fine. If you want to continue hinging, also great. And remembering to breathe even though we're balancing here. I know it's hard. And I lost my balance, so that's okay. If you'd like to, you can let your arms come by your side. And then we can start to come back up to standing. Good. Trying not to fall over as we do that. And then we're just going to roll out. I don't know about you, but my ankles always get very tired. All right, so next we're going to do head to knee. And head to knee is somewhat similar. We're going to start from a one-legged Tadasana, or one-legged mountain. So starting from two-legged mountain, we're just going to engage the core, lengthen up through the spine, find some sort of point on the wall to focus on. And we're just going to shift the weight into the left foot and bring the right foot up, flex that foot, micro bend in the left knee. And if you want to stay here, absolutely fine. If you want to continue just kicking out in front of you, you can do that as well. If you want to, you can put your hands above. Makes it a little bit harder. And when you're ready, we can start to come back to 90 degrees, bend, and back to the floor. Good. It's very important coming out of the posture just as much as it is going into it. So we're going to do the same on the other side. We're going to shift our weight over to the right side and let the left leg come up, finding a nice 90-degree angle, finding our step on the wall. And if you want to, you can kick forward, continue this. If you just want to stay right here too, that's perfectly fine. And then wherever you are, coming back to a 90-degree, one-legged Tadasana, we can let our left leg come down, relax. Awesome. Shake it out maybe. All right, we're going to do dancer next, which is fun. I like this one a lot. So this one is a little bit more difficult to get into. We're going to bring our right hand here. So sort of in like a little waitress situation. We're gonna let the left arm come up, lengthening up through that side. And we're going to bring our knees in together, but bring our right foot into a 90-degree bend, making sure that we're flexing our foot and lengthening up. When we feel nice and strong here, we're just gonna let that right hand reach for the inside, the instep of that foot. And if you wanna stay right here, perfectly fine. If you wanna keep going, you can just kick to the back of the wall and just keep going. Good. This is a nice back extension. It's a good stretch as well as a balancing act. Good. And slowly coming back. And then letting your right hand and your foot come down. Shake it out. And we're going to do the same on the left side. So we're just going to come back to our mountain, slow down our breath. We're going to let the left hand come into our waitress position. Our right hand goes up, lengthening up through that side. And bring the knees together and lift the left leg up. Good. And when you feel nice and ready, you can start to reach for that. Making sure that the knees are nice together. You're flexing through that foot, you can keep going. Good, you guys look awesome. Remembering to breathe here. And when you're ready, we can come back to our neutral spine and just let that left leg rain down. And our arm comes down too. Awesome. So we are almost done with our balancing, but not quite. So here's just a little bit of a nice slowing down stretch kind of thing. If you need to, you can find a 90-degree turn wherever you are gonna be so that you're like this on your mat. Good. So we're just gonna find a nice wide stance. We're going to do a wide-legged forward fold. So it's similar to when we just do a regular forward fold, except with our feet in this position. You can bring your hands to heart center, you can put them to the side, you can put them above, you can place them at your hip flexors, whatever you wanna do. And whenever you're ready, slowly just start to, with lots of control, come down to your tabletop so your back is nice and flat, someone could balance a cup of tea on you. And then continue on your journey. And we're gonna place our hands on the mat. If you need to bend your knees a little bit to do that, you can do that. Making sure to relax our head. If you want to shake your head yes, shake your head no. And while we're here, if you want to bend to the right side, you can do that. Get a little bit of a stretch on the left hamstring. And then walk up to center. And go on to the left side maybe. And then back up to center. Awesome. And maybe you want to reach for your opposite elbows and just sort of hang like a rag doll. Good. And then planting your palms back onto the mat. We're going to engage the core and slowly come back up, passing through tabletop. Maybe you want to place your hands on your hips or whatever. And then all the way back up to standing. Good. And we can heel toe our way back up. Awesome. Into our mountain pose. I like that one. It's fun. All right. So we're going to do our tree pose next. Very classic yoga. We're going to bring our hands to heart center to start. We're going to shift our weight onto the left foot and just bring the right next to it. Then we start to externally rotate it, open that foot, while still keeping our hips facing forward as if they were headlights on a car. And then if you want to stay here, perfectly fine. If you'd like to, you can start to bring it onto your calf, or you can use your hand to help you bring it above your knee. Just making sure that we're not putting actual weight onto the knee. Good. And remember to slowly breathe. If you want to, you can start to grow your branches. Remembering to find that drishti focal point in front of you. Makes it a little bit easier. Good, and one more full breath cycle here, nice and slow. And then we're gonna bring our hands through heart center. And slowly close that book and put it back on the mat. Awesome. Maybe we roll our joints out. Maybe that's just a me thing. And we're gonna go right onto the left side. So we're gonna shift our weight into the right foot and bring that left foot up. Externally rotate it while still on the mat. And if you wanna stay here, perfectly fine. If you want to, you can bring it somewhere else on your leg. Just not your knee, that's not allowed. Wonderful. If you want to, you can start to grow your branches. Remembering to engage our core, lengthening up through the spine. Maybe imagining this tree behind me, this little art thing. And I lost my balance. I'm gonna bring our hands back through heart center, slowly close that book, and place it back on the mat. Good. I was trying to be too fancy. I was like, look at the painting. Then I fell. All right. So that is it for our balancing. Lots of hard work, but I'm really proud of you guys. We're just going to maybe grab some water, and you can meet me on the mat if you like. Doing yogi squats, you can maybe yogi squat to the ground. I like doing that. You would do so from a little bit wider than hip distance apart. If you want to, you just sort of squat down and then meet me on the ground. Nice and graceful. Beautiful. All right. So just finding a comfortable seated position to start. We're on the ground now, starting to feel the ground beneath us, maybe feel our sits bones on the ground, maybe feel powered and grounded by the earth today. And maybe circling back into your breath, remembering how important that is. And maybe circling back into our intention that we made for today's class. Awesome. And whenever you're ready, we're just going to gracefully find our way on our mat and then find our way into a corpse pose or Shavasana. And we're going to bring our knees up to the sky. So our soles of our feet are planted. We're going to bring our feet to touch, so very close. And then just externally rotate those feet, those hips. And we're in a reclined bound ankle position or reclined butterfly. If you want to, you can flap your wings. This is what they did in kids ballet. You'd flap your wings and fly. And every time you exhale, maybe you just sink a little bit closer into the mat. Your knees come a little bit closer. It's okay if they're floating above the ground. Mine are. But that's just where they're headed. And maybe you close your eyes for a moment. Good. And then we're just going to slowly, using our hands, bring them closed. So your knees are back together. Good. And then maybe just roll onto your side and push yourself back up into a seated position. Good. There's no real transition other than figure it out. And then just slowly we're going to come into a tabletop position. And to know you're in a nice, sturdy tabletop position, your shoulders are right above your wrists, your hips are right above your knees, and if you were to look between your knees, you can't see your feet because they're right behind. Nice. And your back is going to be nice and straight, and our gaze is between our hands. And slowing down our breathing, we're just going to find a couple cats and cows. If you want to do it at your own pace, go for it. But first we can draw the gaze up and inhale to find a cow with our navel drawn to the mat. And slowly exhale to find cat. Our navel is drawn up to the ceiling. And our gaze is down at the mat. And then we can inhale to find cow. Navel is down. And then exhale to find cat. And if you want to find a couple other cats and cows at your own pace, go for it. If you want to explore with lateral movement, you can look over the right shoulder and then the left shoulder. Or you could do some circular movements. May feel like you look crazy, but I'm not watching. Just listening to your body. Waking up the spine feels really nice. And finding just a neutral tabletop, coming back to this. We're going to try to keep our hands right where they are and just tuck the toes, place some weight into it, and send our hips to the ceiling for a downward dog. And this is our first downward dog of the day. So maybe just walking out our dog. So flexing and just putting weight into each of your feet. If you want to press your heels back into the mat, maybe just stretch out your back, go for that. And when you're ready, we're going to try to keep our hands and our feet right where they are. And we're just going to shift our weight so that we come into a plank. Good. And if you just want to stop the plank right now, go for it. You can just lower yourself down to the ground. Or if you want, you can stay here for a good 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then wherever you are, slowly just lower yourself down to the mat. we're gonna do a Cobra Sequence. So keeping your hands right where they are, tucking in your elbows towards one another. We're just gonna take a couple breath cycles here first. Remembering to breathe. All right, we're going to, on your next inhale, we're just going to lift the upper body off the ground, trying to keep no weight, if possible, in your hands. So this is just a little baby cobra. And exhale down to the ground. Your third eye is on the mat. Tuck in those elbows. And inhale, lift off the ground for a second baby cobra. And exhale back down to the ground. And if you want to do a king cobra, we're going to, well, if you want to do baby cobra, do that again. If you want to do king cobra, we're just going to inhale, go through baby cobra, and then press your way all the way up. Good. So remembering to initiate the movement with just your upper body. You can press through. If you want to, you can look over to the right side, look over to the left. And then coming back to a neutral cervical spine. Slowly bring yourself back down, all the way down to the ground. We're gonna let our hands come to our sides. And we're just going to do a half locust. So keeping your forehead on the mat, we're going to do basically a cobra, but with the lower body. So we're going to engage the core, engage the glutes, bring your feet together and engage all of that. And just lift the lower body off the ground. So like your legs and your feet. Engage, 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 bring your feet together as much as you can. And exhale, let it go down to the mat. We're going to do one more of those and then a full locust. So on your next inhale, we're going to draw our feet together and bring them off the mat. And slowly exhale back down. Relax everything. And then a full locust is when we basically put the two together. We're gonna do the half locust with a cobra, a baby cobra. So keeping our hands right where they are, we're just going to bring everything off the mat on your next inhale. So inhale everything off the mat. Imagine that you're Superman flying through the sky, engaging everything all at once, creating lots of nice energy. And exhale back down when you're ready. Just melt into the mat. That should feel really good right now after everything that we've done. Good, and we're gonna place our hands underneath our shoulder heads again and slowly just press your way through a tabletop. And then back into a child's pose. Good, and just stay here for a moment. Good. And then pressing back up through tabletop. And just swinging your legs over to one side. Find a comfortable seated position. Good, we're just going to circle back in with our body, with our mind. Maybe close your eyes or find a gentle gaze in front of you. You can bring your hands to heart center. You can bring them down to the ground, to your knees, whatever speaks to you right now. If you have a lotus pose, you can go for that as well. I'm just going to slowly start to slow down the practice. I'm going to take you through a little bit of a body scan. If you want to listen to me, wonderful. If you want to ignore me and just do your own little meditation practice, go for that. Slowing down your breathing. Maybe you find the stepwise breathing at your own pace, or you just sink into a breath cycle that is natural to your own body. Starting with the body scan, we're going to start with our little toes. the bottom of our feet. Maybe we wiggle them, say hi, and thank our feet. Give appreciation to our feet for allowing us to stand on them and for taking us where we need to go throughout the day. And then drawing up through the calves and the shins and giving awareness and appreciation to that. Up through our hamstrings, up to our quads, which are very strong, more strong than you think. And then drawing up through our hips, up through our core, our abdomen, which does so much for us. Drawing awareness up to our heart. This is where our intentions are, our love. So giving awareness and appreciation to that. And down our arms, maybe you want to wiggle them, wiggle your fingers. And then drawing your awareness up your cervical spine, up to your head. Maybe you want to do a little bit of a head neck stretch, up to you. If you're feeling it, if your neck is a little bit tight, you can bring your hands, interlace them, and place them at the base of your neck. And just let the weight of your hands, nothing else, don't press on it. Just the weight of your hands sort of bring it down a little bit. And then whenever you're ready, you can place your hands back where they were. Just bringing awareness to your head, to your mind. The mind is a beautiful place. It's the only place that we have to live forever. So love yourself, love your body. Maybe taking a wholeness awareness to your entire body and your mind after today's 45-minute practice. Maybe what feels different, what feels good. If anything else needs awareness afterwards, maybe continue your practice. And just taking one big inhale together. We can bring our hands to heart center. Take one big inhale together, lots of love in. One big exhale, lots of love out. We can bring our hands to our heart, right where they are, to inspire kind intentions. Into our lips, to inspire kind words. Into our forehead, our mind, to inspire kind thoughts. Mess that up a little bit. Bring our hands back to our heart. Namaste, you guys.